And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Core Premier Series here. We are at Darlington Raceway for 100 laps under the lights, and they are just now getting out there for qualifying, so we'll ride along here. We've got Nick Nickerson out on track in that number 2 car right now, starting his first time lap. And we'll ride on board here as he goes down into turns 1, right up against the wall there, turn 2. And I want everybody to just take a look at the right side of that car, because that is the best it's going to look all night long. As you'll see these guys get up into the wall quite a bit here, going around this track. Very challenging, as you can see, right up against the wall there, turns 3 and 4. Gonna come off there, set his first time lap. We'll see what that puts him. That puts him on provisional pole. And he's going to start his second flying lap here. You see Dylan Ashley there moving up into the second place, with Evan Foster currently in provisional third. Nickerson here is going to come across the line. Does he improve his time that time around? He does not. Go slower. So it looks like the first time lap here is quicker. And we'll see that quite a bit in these cars, as we've got one up in the wall there. That's actually Dylan Ashley. And let's ride on board the 44 here of John Nobinger. He starts his first flying lap, but he's going to get into the wall there. Another victim of that Darlington outside wall, so that lap will not count here in iRacing. If you do touch the wall and get a incident point, which usually any amount of wall contact will result in that, it will void that qualifying lap. They only get 2 laps here tonight, so we'll see here if he can make do on his second lap, as he currently does not have a time on the board. Nobinger here going to come across. He's going to make contact again, and that'll do it for his qualifying. He won't get to count either lap, so he's going to give up. Let's see here what the 15 of Brandon Metler can do. He's going to come around across the line here. And that's looks like he's starting his first time lap. Narrowly avoiding the wall there, turns 1 and 2. Going to come down the back stretch here. And let's ride on board. You can see you turn in early, let it drift all the way up there to that outside lane, stay off the wall, try to get a low exit here. And this is going to do it for his time lap. That is going to put him up into 7th. So a good run from him as he starts his second flying lap. Like Carl Handwork just set the 6th quickest time there. He goes up into 6. We'll see here on his second flying lap. No, he's going to get into the wall, so this one won't count. And he actually, Brandon Metler just knocked him down to 7th, but Adam Jones besting both there, and he's going to go up into 5th place position. Oh, small world there. Adam Jones is from King, North Carolina. I'm also from King, North Carolina, so small world after all. And let's see here if anyone else is out on track right now. Looks like we do have the 77 of Paul Butler here, looking to throw down his first time lap. And we have another North Carolina native there, Wilmington, North Carolina, Paul Butler here. You saw him just narrowly escaping the outside wall. And he's actually running down below the apron there. That is a unique line. I haven't seen anyone do that all night long. From my knowledge on these Arca cars, not the quickest way around here. And let's see, he's not going to set a time, so he may have been into the wall. Let's ride on board. This is Eric Andrews here in that number 9 car. And that'll put Eric up into 13th there. So that was his second and only flying lap. And that moves him up into 13th place. Let's see Anthony Kaiswater here in the number 34. Drifting all the way up to the outside wall there. Gonna come across the line. We'll see if this lap counts. And no, it does not. So he must have also been into the wall. Looks like we only have one other driver out there tonight. That is Willie Evernham here in the number 19. And it looks like he is just now starting his outlap. He's going to come across the line here, take the green flag. About 3.5 minutes remaining in qualifying, so he has plenty of time to run 2 laps around here. Right up against the wall. That one, he might get away with that one there. That was so light, he might not get an incident point. But we'll see here when he crosses the line if iRacing scores a time for him. He goes down into turns 3 and 4 here, all the way up against the wall. Don't touch it. Gets into it again. Definitely lost quite a bit of time there on his exit out of 4 because he did not get into the throttle because he was up in the wall. And that lap does not count. See if he can do anything here on his second and final time lap. Goes down into turns 3 and 4 there. Doesn't get quite as close to the wall, but has to wait a long time to get back on the throttle. And we'll see a lot of drivers there struggle with turns 3 and 4 here at Darlington. But that lap does count, moves him up into 15th. Alright, so it looks like that is it for qualifying. No other drivers out on the track. Looks like Nick Nickerson is going to take home the pole tonight with Christopher Hamilton in 2nd and Mark Thomas in 3rd. And we'll go to a quick commercial break while we wait for these last 2 minutes to wind down, and then we'll go over the starting grid. All right, and welcome back here to the Core Premier Series Season 6. We're at round 3, and I do have the schedule up on your screen here. We're at the Arca cars at Darlington for 100 laps this evening under the lights. And for those of you that are not familiar with this great series, you will notice that they run a different car track combo every single round of the season. So this is the best of the best drivers here who can be adaptable. Anything from ovals, asphalt ovals. They use the V8 supercars. They even had the Lotus 49s there on the schedule. So we even go into some 410 wing sprints. Quite a few dirt cars actually on the schedule. We see the Dirt Midget at the Chili Bowl. So this is one heck of a series here. Best of the best drivers. I love what they're doing here. But we will get gridded up here for the start of this evening's race, and let's go over the official starting grid. On pole this evening, we've got Nick Nickerson there laying down a blistering 29.570. And on second there, we've got Christopher Hamilton. You can see almost 2/10 slower. So Nick laid down one heck of a lap. Generally, we'll see these guys within less than 1/10 of each other on the ovals. So great job by him. In third, we've got Mark Thomas. Fourth, Patrick Shelton. In fifth, Adam Jones. In sixth, Dylan Ashley. Seventh, Brandon Metler. Eighth, Carl Handwerk. Ninth, Jimmy Covert. 10th, Kevin Foster. 11th, Matt Crockett. In 12th, Mason Smith. In 13th, we'll have Eric Andrews. 14th, Derek Sherman. In 15th, Willie Evernham. 16th, John Crane. 17th, Dane Simpson. 18th, Dave Lohr. 19th, Jeremy Line Watkins. And 20th, John Nobinger. 21st, Paul Butler. And 22nd, Anthony Keiswater. 23rd, Joshua Butler. And then in 24th there, Brock Verez. That'll do it for your starting order this evening. About 30 more seconds here before they begin their pace laps to get these 100 laps started. Real quick, we'll go over the race analysis for this evening. 100 laps here under the lights. Fuel will be set at 50%. So with that low of fuel, we should see, I expect, at least 2 stops, maybe 3. So fuel strategy and tire strategy definitely going to come into play here. They do have one quick repair this evening, so if they do get involved in an unfortunate accident, and we probably will see a few of those this evening, very tight racetrack, they will be able to come down pit road and get one brand new car this evening. And then they have unlimited tires, which will come into play. Tire wear here is very, very, very bad. You'll see these guys about 5 laps in, that right front is going to give out, and they're going to have a very hard time getting the car to rotate down in turns 3 and 4. So we could see a late race pit strategy call, taking 2 tires, possibly 4. That could decide the race. But we'll just have to watch and see here as they start their opening lap here. We've got 24 drivers here tonight in the Core Premier Series, and this one is going to be exciting. As you can see, they're doing a 3 wide formation here down the backstretch. That is an awesome shot to see. I can tell you that requires a lot of coordination in iRacing. You wouldn't think it would, but it does, to get every driver to do something and do it accurately. So kudos to them. But we're going to get started here. Pace car is off. Nick Nickerson there, and then the number 2 is going to lead us down to the green flag. The number 64, Christopher Hamilton, there on his outside. The outside line is actually preferred going into turn 1 and 2. So we'll see if he can get a good jump, and it looks like he does. He's going to be right there alongside the number 2 as they head down into turn 1. It looks like he's going to give him plenty of room there. That is a veteran move there. You don't want to cause a big incident in turn 1 on the opening lap. So it looks like all these drivers getting through pretty cleanly. You see we've got one down there against the wall. Not sure, trying to get a look at who that was. That was the 24 of Dylan Ashley, down very low on the track. Looks like he's having problems early on. Meanwhile, up front here, we've got a battle brewing up for a second. That is the 04 of Shelton looking to make a move on the 64 of Hamilton, but the 02 is going to get into the wall. And that is going to allow the 50 of Thomas to get by, but Patrick Shelton there up into the wall early. Going to lose out on a couple places. He's actually under pressure now from the 46 of Jones as they head down into turns 1, completing lap 2, starting lap 3 here. You can just see the unique line they have to run here. They enter the turn early, go all the way up to the wall, and then try to exit low, because the exit of turn 2, that outside wall will sneak up on you very quickly. Looks like right behind them, Adam Jones looking, or actually battling the 18 of Handwerk. Handwerk is going to advance the position there. He's up 3 since the start of the race, moving up into the top 5. Just check on back here through the field. Like everybody getting nice and spread out. The closest battle we have right now is the 14 of Jimmy Covert battling. Oh, we've got a car in the wall in front of them. That is the 8 of Kevin Foster. He's going to drop back a couple positions there. The 6 of Smith still looking to battle Covert there in the 14. And that'll now be for 7th position. You can see the 6 here going to try to get a run down the back straight. Not going to be able to make a move going into turns 3 and 4 here. You can see they're taking drastically different lines. The 14 running the high line on entry and all the way through turns 3 and 4. The 6 choosing to run it like turn 1 and 2 where you enter low, drift up, try to exit low. But we'll see. I'm not sure which one's going to be easier on the tires. I think what the 14 is doing is going to be better in the long run, but we'll see here what the 6 can do down the back straight. Going to stick a nose in there. Going to take a look, see if he can get an exit out of turn 4 here that he needs. And that is the problem of being on that bottom side there. You just cannot get into the throttle and get a good exit. Like we may have a little battle here. This will be for 3rd, 4th, and 5th there. As you can see, Carl Handwerk is making up some ground. On our 4th place, the 04 of Shelton. He's going to be in striking distance in just a lap or so. So let's ride on board Carl Handwerk here as he tries to make a move on the 04 of Shelton. This will be for 4th place. You can just hear from that onboard shot just how long Carl is having to wait to get into the throttle coming out of turn 2. Same story in turns 3 and 4 there, just waiting forever and trying to get into the throttle, get a good run down the front stretch. Oh, he's actually going to get tagged into the wall there down the front straight. Just misjudged how much distance he had. And once you touch the wall in these cars, it just wants to suck you into it. But again, take a look at the right side of that 18 car because that's the best it's going to look all evening. We expect a few scuff marks on it before the end of the race. Oh, we've got Patrick Shelton there. The 50 of Mark Thomas was actually in the wall there, and that's going to allow the 04 of Shelton by and the 18 of Carl Handwerk. That's just one of those mistakes here as we just completed lap 9. Tire wear should be becoming an issue here for the ones that have abused their tires these first handful of laps. As you can see, the 04 there up into the wall as well. Same story, different lap there, as that's going to allow Carl Handwerk into 3rd place. And just paying attention to the timing board there, it looks like Christopher Hamilton is starting to cut away at the gap on our leader, the number 2 of Nick Nickerson. Gap is now down to about 0.5 of a second. It was 1 second a few laps ago. So we'll see what the 64 here of Hamilton can do. You can see they are pretty even on speed right now. It looks like Nickerson's going to be slightly faster on that last lap. But we've got a battle back here. This is for 9th. It looks like the 15 of Brandon Metler going to advance there on the 9 of Eric Andrews. Metler's going to take away that 9th place position. But right behind them, Willie Evernham there in the number 19. Also under pressure there from the 42 of Derek Sherman. We'll see, as you can see, the 19 there of Evernham all the way up to the wall there in turns 3 and 4. Has to get out of the throttle. That's going to allow the 42 Here, Derek Sherman to take a look down on the inside going into turns 1 and 2, going way below the apron. Has to get out of the throttle because he did not have him cleared. Great save there, but he's now potentially going to lose a position to Paul Butler. The 42 now starting to close back up to the 19 of Evernham, but meanwhile he's bringing the 77 of Butler with him. Boy, and it looks like he may have just had a pass right here. And we've actually got someone in the pits and one potential crash here. Like this is the 94 of Brock Verez. Yes, down the back straight there. Gonna hit the inside wall. Single car spin, so we'll stay green here. Like Dane Simpson has also entered the pits here for his first pit stop there in the 96. We are starting to see some drivers come down pit road here. Mason Smith also coming down pit road. The question is going to be, when do these leaders pit? If you're the leader, you do not want to pit second. You want to be the first one to pit because that guy, second place here, 64 Hamilton, he can come into the pits, grab 4 tires, and undercut the leader because the tire fall off here is around 2 to 2.5 seconds. It's very drastic. So, you know, it's a good strategy sometimes to undercut the person in front of you. Ooh, we see the 64 of Hamilton there getting very loose on the exit of turn 2. Great save. Great job not overcorrecting it and spinning it back up into the outside wall. But he's going to lose out quite a bit of time there on a race leader doing that. Meanwhile, the man of the hour right now here is the 18 of Carl Handwerk. Up 5 positions since the start of the race. Worked his way up into 3rd. As you can see, just gave him the old broadcaster's curse because he gets into the outside wall in turn 2 there. Across the line there and start lap 20 out of 100. We should start to see some take down pit road, but we've actually got a yellow flag, so that is going to shake it up. Looks like Willie Evernham here in the 19 going to be involved. You can see he was in the outside wall, and then not sure what happened to the 77. I think the 77 just got loose and had to get out of the throttle. The 19 of Evernham was not expecting that. Well, let's right on board Evernham here. Oh, yes, the 77 was tight exiting turn 2 there and was going to hit the outside wall, so he got out of the throttle, and the 19 just did not anticipate that happening. Right on board the 77 here with Paul Butler. Yeah, and you can hear he just got out of the throttle. He probably had full opposite lock on the car there and just unfortunately got rear-ended. Alright, should expect everyone down pit road here during this first caution of the evening. As you can see, it looks like all the way back. The first car that's going to stay out is the 71 there of Jeremy Lyon Watkins. Like everyone else that is on the lead lap is going to come down pit road. Looks like Nick Nickerson there is going to win the battle off the 04 of Shelton. Going to advance a position there. To keep a look at the pit times to see what happened to Carl Handwerk. Looks like he may have had an issue coming to his pits. He is now all the way back in 18th position. Here we're just going to get a replay here. The 18, as he came down pit road, I think he slid through his pit box. Have to pay attention here. See what happened to send him all the way back to 18th. See, everything looks good there. Not really sure what's going on there. It's like they're not even changing the tires on his car. He goes and then backs up. Oh, he might have had his tires unchecked and took fuel only. Then went through the pit stall, came back so he could get tires. That's what it was. Fortunate job. Unfortunate series of events there for him. But out front here, Nick Nickerson still out front. Patrick Shelton advances into second there, beating quite a few cars off the pit road. Christopher Hamilton going to fall back to third. Kevin Foster there, up 6 positions since the start of the race, is going to start in 4th. And Adam Jones in 5th. Looks like the pace lights are off the pace car. We're going to get going this time around. Looks like it's going to be a single file restart here for this evening. Nick Nickerson there in the number 2 car going to lead us to the green flag. We'll see if the 04 of Shelton can give him a run for his money down into turns 1 and 2. Restart will be the leader's choice. They do not have to wait for the iRacing green flag. They just have to wait until the pace car is clear of the track. So it will be interesting to see where he chooses to restart here. Like Carl Handwerk is going to restart back here in the 14th position after having an unfortunate pit mistake, as he was running very fast up into 3rd before they pitted. Pace car is off here. We're going to get going green. You can see the 2 of Nickerson there with a very early start, getting a great jump. The 64 of Hamilton also getting a good start there as he's on the back bumper of the 04 of Shelton. Oh, the 04 of Shelton is spinning around. Great save, completely sideways there. Like he's going to be able to hang on to it down there on the apron though. But that was an excellent save, but that's going to allow the 64 of Hamilton back up into 2nd. Meanwhile, we've got a battle for 3rd here between the number 8 there of Kevin Foster and the 46 of Adam Jones, as Adam Jones is going to go on the outside. And it looks like the 8 of Foster there is going to give up that position pretty easily. Let's just check on back through the field here. We've got a battle between the 77 of Butler. It looks like he just got up into the outside wall on the exit of turn 2 again. And right behind him is the 15 of Brandon Metler. And further back, we've got 3 cars battling right here. That is the number 10 of Matt Crockett, currently in 10th place. Dylan Ashley there in 11th, and Patrick Shelton in 3rd. Ashley trying to cross over there, going down the back straight. Looks like the number 10 car there is just going to pull out of the way and let these guys by. And the 04 of Shelton there is going to move up after getting sideways there on the opening lap, almost losing it in turns 1 and 2. He's going to move back up into 10th. You see the 42 of Sherman here, currently in 7th. Is being chased down by the 77 of Paul Butler here as they go down into turns 3 and 4. You can see he gets a good run on the 14 of Covert. That is for 6th place. We've got a three-way battle here. Looks like the 42 is going to let Paul Butler by there on the outside. So the 77 is going to advance up into 7th. And now he's got his sights set on the 14 there of Jimmy Covert for 6th place. You see the 04 Shelton there looking on the inside of the 42 of Sherman, going to take away that 8th place position. Nice clean pass there. We'll see what Paul Butler here can do on the 14 of Covert. Down the outside on the front straight, gets a better exit there out of turn 4. Looks like he's going to have him cleared going down into turn 1. And we'll see what Patrick Shelton can do as the 24 of Ashley has caught up right. Oh, the 42 into the wall hard. That's Derek Sherman. Looks like everybody's going to make it by, but that is going to cause a lot of damage to the right side of that car. And while that was happening there, the 04 makes it around the 14 of Covert. The next one up is the 24 of Ashley here, going to look to make a move on the 14th. This will be for 8th. You see Carl Henwick there making his way back up through the field after having that mistake on pit road. He's going to move up into the top 10 and have his sights set on the 24 of Ashley and the 14 of Covert there. The 24 of Ashley going to move up into 8th. Carl Henwick there going to follow them through into 9th. Then we'll see how much further Henwick can make his ground up here after having that unfortunate mistake on pit road. Meanwhile, up front, Nick Nickerson here in the number 2. Currently 2.4 seconds is the gap back to 2nd place. Number 64, Christopher Hamilton. And we've got a battle for 3rd here. The 46 of Jones is under pressure from the 8 of Foster. And let's ride on board the 8 of Foster here as he tries to make a move for 3rd. We're about 10 laps in here, and they will start to struggle with tire wear. As you can see, the 46 making a mistake there, getting into the wall. That's going to allow the number 8 up into 3rd place, Kevin Foster. There doesn't look to be any major damage there on the outside right front there of the 46. But he's right up, back up on the bumper there of the 8 of Foster. And we see a little mistake out of the 8 on the exit of the turn there. Getting loose, which is not something you typically see here with this car at this track. Generally gets very tight. We'll ride on board the 46 of Jones here as he tries to chase down the 8 of Foster. It looks like Jones here just not able to get through turns 3 and 4 as good, and even turns 1 and 2 here. Like he is starting to struggle with that right front, just not able to get the car to rotate, and that's going to allow the 8 of Foster to pull away. Oh, we've got one in the wall there. That is the 15 of Mettler. Looks like he got hung on the wall. That's going to allow the 50 of Mark Thomas on through. Looks like Paul Butler here in the 77 is coming down for his second pit stop of the evening. Like we have a couple other cars on pit road. That is the 34 of Kai Swatter and the 71 there of Jeremy Lyon Watkins. It'll be interesting to see. We're starting to see some takers down pit road for that second pit stop. We'll see how much longer the lead cars out here extend this run. And it looks like the gap to the leader, Christopher Hamilton, here is knocking it down about a tenth a lap here these last couple laps. And it looks like Nickerson with a big mistake there into the wall. He's going to lose 3 or 4 tenths this lap alone here as we just completed lap 39, starting lap 40. Christopher Hamilton starting to close in on our leader. Like they're going to run pretty similar lap times that time around. Oh, that is going to bring the caution out. Actually not sure what the cause. We see some smoke on the track, but we don't see any cars as being reported as a crash. Run back through the field here. Oh, it looks like the 34. That is Kai Swatter. Just back it up here momentarily to see what happened. Looks like he's going to get down onto the apron here in turn 2 and just upset the car, get it loose. Looked like he almost had it saved there, but then overcorrected and shot straight up into the outside wall. Looks like he is the only car involved, but that will bring out our second caution of the race. It'll be interesting to see. We had a few people take their pit stop early. It looks like Paul Butler, they ended up going a lap down, so they will have to stay out here to get that lap back. But we should see all our lead lap cars here come down pit road as we were in the pit window there for the second pit stop when that yellow flag came out. So everyone should head down pit road here, take 4 fresh tires, fuel up, and then we'll get going here for the second half of the race. If the 18 here can have a better pit stop than they had the first time around into the box there. And yes, we do see the car jacking up there on the right side, so he got his issues sorted out there, and looks like he's going to have a better pit stop this time around. But we'll see who's going to win the race off of pit road here. It's going to be the 2, the 8, the 46, and the 04 there. Like Carl Handwork there made up quite a few spots on pit road that time. So good job by him. He's going to be, looks like he's going to be scored in 8th position. With the front 2 here, the number 10 of Matt Crockett and the 17 of Dave Lohr have not come down pit road for their second stop, so they're going to be on old tires. It will be interesting to see if they stay out here for this restart. And it does look like the 10 of Crockett is going to stay out at least one more lap here. Tell you, that will shake the field up if we see a car start on 20 lap old tires here at Darlington. All right, looks like pace lights are off the pace car. So Matt Crockett here trying a different strategy. Gonna stay out and not pit. Last pitted on lap 21. Every car behind him did come down pit road. So he's going to be a sitting duck here once they get going green. But he will lead a lap here, and maybe that was his goal. But the pace lights are off, so we'll get going green this time around. In there of Crockett, gonna have to be very mindful of tire spin here as the pace car is off, and he's gonna be underway and lead us to the green flag here.
Green, green, green.
Like everybody getting nice and spread out here with these single file restarts. Nobody really underneath each other, but the 2 of Nick Nickerson here is going to make a move on the 10, as the 10 is on old tires and does just duck out of the way there. But oh no, the 8. All right, try to get a hold of him here. The 8 down into the inside wall. That's going to bring out the 3rd caution of the evening. Let's go back and take another look. Like the 46 of Adam Jones just going to make contact with him there on the exit of turn 2. Right on board with Adam Jones here. As you can see, he's going to get into the left rear, the 8 there on the exit of turn 2, and just send him spinning down into the inside wall. Here on board the 8 of Kevin Foster as the 46 just comes in there and makes contact. And that's one of those situations where the 46 of Adam Jones was not trying to do that. He was actually probably had the car turned all the way to the left, but these cars just want to push on the exit of the turn. So while he thought he was going to come out underneath him going down the back straight, just couldn't get that car to rotate and came up and made contact. But in that mess, the 18 of Carl Handwerk now has worked his way back up to 3rd after that first pit stop mistake. So he's worked himself all the way back up into 3rd. I think he was scored in 14th at one point. So he's made his way back up front there. See what he can do for 2nd place there on the 04. And it looks like the 64 of Hamilton. I'm going to go back and see. He's lost quite a few positions. And he actually had lost those positions before we got started, so that might have been a pit road mistake there from him. Didn't quite catch it on the exit of the pits, but the number 2 will lead us around this time. Out front did make a move on the number 10 car, and we'll just check in with Matt Crockett here, who has come down pit road. Take 4 fresh tires that time around, so he pitted on lap 47. That's going to score him in the 12th position. As you remember, he stayed out that last pit stop, or that last yellow flag when everybody else pitted, so now he'll have about 3 lap newer tires. Everyone else, that might not sound like a lot, but here at Darlington in these Arca cars, 3 or 4 laps can be the difference of a second or more. Looks like we're going to have a few others take down pit road here. Mostly cars that are a lap down, except for the 19 of Willie Evernham, who is currently on the lead lap in 15th there. Going to come down pit road. I don't know if you're catching that there with the audio, but actually Nick Nickerson there in the number 2 is actually killing his engine on the straightaways there behind the pace car, and that is a strategy to save fuel. So we could see a good fuel strategy out of the number 2 car here this evening. Alright, it'll be a single file restart here again. The pace lights are off the pace car, so we'll get going green this time around. We're just now halfway through the race here, lap 50 out of 100. The number 2 car of Nick Nickerson here will lead us to the green flag here for our third restart of the evening. The 04 there of Patrick Shelton in second, and Carl Handwerk, the number 18 car, in third. And they're off. Good jump there by the number 2 of Nickerson. The 04 of Shelton also getting a good jump. The 18 of Carl Handwerk. They're all spread out pretty evenly, but the man making moves right there is the 64 of Hamilton, because it looks like the 15 of Mettler was up into the wall. Looks like he was able to save the car there as he gets loose on the apron. But he's going to go all the way back to 14th place. Meanwhile, the battle right here is going to be for second. The 18 of Carl Handwerk starting to inch in on the 04 of Shelton. And we also have a battle here. This is for fifth. The 24 of Ashley looking underneath the 14 of Jimmy Covert. They're battling the 9 of Andrews there. Eric Andrews is starting to get into this battle. Loses out a little bit there on turn 4. But these 3 cars are going to stay close together as they go through turns 1 and 2 again. You see these cars nose to tail all the way back to 10th place there. That's Matt Crockett, who played that interesting strategy by staying out. He's now in 10th. So he has worked his way up a couple positions since the restart. And it looks like Carl Handwerk is now just falling out of reach there from our second place, the 04 of Patrick Shelton. And we see the 14 of Covert there just got into the wall. That's going to allow Ashley and Andrews by. And that's going to put Dylan Ashley up into the top 5 in 5th position. We've got some 2-wide racing here coming out of the turn here. We've got the 10 of Crockett underneath the 17 of Lore. The 8 also going to go by there. So he's going to lose 2 positions down that one straightaway, and he's up into the wall again. He's going to be able to get that car around. He might have some damage now that is just preventing him. Maybe have knocked the toe out of the car because he's just struggling to make it around here. Looks like he's got it going now, but he's going to slot all the way back into 13th position there. But while that was going on, we've just had a pass for a second. Carl Handwerk just made a move there on the 04 of Patrick Shelton for second place. Let's go back and check a replay. See, the 04 just got a terrible exit out of turn 4. And the 18 just breezes by him down the front stretch. You see the 10 of Crockett now on the back of the 8 of Foster there. That is going to be for 8th position, but these guys are battling right here. The 44 are going to get into the back of the 46, and that's going to bring both cars around. And the 15 there just barely making contact. But for those 2 spinning in front of the field there, we're lucky we did not see a larger wreck. So let's go back and have another look. See, this was the battle between the 44 and the 46. It looked like the 44 just did not expect the 46 to get out of the throttle that much in the turn. So let's go back and watch another angle here. see the 44 just gets into the rear end, and you could actually see it lift the rear of the 46 up. Just how pointed these cars are, and it's almost like the front is just a scoop and just sends him around. We're right on board of the 44 here. And yeah, it's just getting in there. The 46 lifted to make the turn as he had a low entry into it. And the 44 of Nobinger there, I guess, just did not expect 46 to slow up that much and gets into the rear. All right, that is going to shake the strategy up here as most of the leaders come down pit road. Just looking at pit times, looks like Nick Nickerson and Carl Hanwerk either took fuel only or 2 tires, with Christopher Hamilton and Patrick Shelton taking 4 tires. So a bit of a different strategy playing out now as we're coming down to about 41 to go. Meanwhile, up front here, the 9 of Eric Andrews is going to stay out. Last pitted on lap 42. Dave Lohr there in the 17 is going to come down pit road. But we've got another risk taker here. We've got the 9 of Andrews going to try what the 10 of Crockett did a couple cautions ago. He's going to stay out. And you can hear Nick Nickerson there saving fuel again, cutting the ignition. So that tells me he's going to probably try to extend this next run all the way to the end, trying to save as much fuel as he can. That will be a tall task because it will be about 40 laps. I'm not sure what the fuel run is here. But we'll just keep an eye on that. He's been saving fuel here this entire caution stint here. But the pace lights are off the pace car. The number 9 of Eric Andrews staying out there. Last pitting on lap 42. Every car behind him has pitted for at least 2 tires. And he's going to lead us to the start here for our 5th restart of the evening. The 2 of Nick Nickerson and the 18 of Carl Hanwerk both had 9-second pit time, so that they either got fuel only or right sides, but they did not take 4 tires. But the 04 of Patrick Shelton there did take 4 tires, so we'll see just how much of a difference that's going to make here on the restart. The 9 of Eric Andrews there, he's going to lead us down to the green flag. Nick Nickerson there not getting as great of a start as we would expect, and that's going to allow the 18 of Handwork, who we know is very quick, going to be right up against the back bumper. So far, the 9 of Andrews doing a good job getting through turns 1 and 2 there on old tires. Oh, we've got mayhem behind them. That looks like the 24 of Ashley. That is going to bring out the 5th caution, but it looks like that may be the only car involved. Go back and take another look. Ah, yes, the 24 just getting loose on their own there. is struggling to save it. And everybody doing a great job to go around him there. He's just getting loose there on the exit of turn 2. And then just fighting the car, trying to save it all the way down the back straight. Does a great job. I think just barely got into the wall there with the rear, but no damage. So doing a great job to save that car. He'll be able to come down pit road, get 4 fresh tires, and still live to race another day here at Darlington. All right, we'll see if the 9 comes down pit road this time around. Stayed out that last time. Led a lap there before the caution came out. Interesting to see what kind of strategy here this team for the 9 of Eric Andrews is trying to pull here. As we also know Nick Nickerson there and the 18 of Carl Handwerk both taking 2 tires or fuel only that time around, that last caution. See the 96 there is the lucky dog, going to get their lap back. That's Dane Simpson. It's like the 9 of Andrews is going to stay out again here. All right, looks like the pace lights are off the pace car. We'll get going this time around. Like the 9 of Eric Andrews there is going to lead us to this restart. Again, Nick Nickerson currently in second. Carl Handwerk in third. And Christopher Hamilton has worked himself back up into 4th place there. Kevin Foster in the number 8 going to start 5th. See the pace car dive off the track here this time around as they enter turn 3 and 4. The 9 of Eric Andrews going to lead us to another restart. Went pretty early that last time. We'll see where he chooses to go this time. As you can see the 2 there, Nickerson trying to get a good jump.
Green, green, green.
The 9 going to go out to an early lead here as they cross the line. The 18 of Carl Handwerk again on the back of the number 2. We'll see how long the number 9 there can hold on to this lead with those old tires. As you can see, he's getting loose on the exit of turn 2. And they're going to go down into turns 3 and 4. 2 here going to look to the inside coming out of turn 4. Looks like he's going to make that pass for the lead as they complete lap 67. Carl Handwerk also going to go through the 9 up into the wall, and the 64 almost making contact. Had to get out of it there. Great heads-up driving there by the 64, but he gets loose. Is he going to be able to save it here and stay in front of the 8? No, he's going to lose that position and go back to 5th. Meanwhile, the 8 there of Kevin Foster is currently under pressure from the 64 while also trying to battle the 9 of Andrews. But Andrews on old tires, 40-lap old tires. I'm not sure how he's hanging on to that position, but the 8 of Kevin Foster there is going to make a move now. It looks like the 64 of Hamilton also going to go through, as well as the 50 of Mark Thomas. So the 9 of Andrews will fall back to 6th place. But so far, that strategy is working for him, as he is only falling back to 6th. Meanwhile, your leader here, the 2 of Nickerson, he is out front and checking out from the 18 of Carl Handwerk. Gap is now almost to 1 second here, as they're going to complete lap 70. But your battle is going to be for 3rd. This is between the 8 of Kevin Foster and the 64 of Christopher Hamilton. Let's ride on board the 64 here as he challenges the 8 for 3rd position. The 64 just gets into turn 3 there so much later on the brakes than the 8, but it looked like that time around the 8 was quicker in 1 and 2, so we'll see what happens this time. Well, it looks like the 8 there is going to push up the track. That's going to allow the 64 to just swing on by down the back straight here, and he's going to take away 3rd position. I love that there on the spoiler, hashtag kinda oval guy. So we're seeing him make some moves here back up into 3rd. We'll see if the 8 of Kevin Foster there can hang on to that 4th place position, because the 50 of Thomas has about a second and a half to make up here, but he is closing quickly. Like Eric Andrews there up into the wall. And we actually have another incident on track. It's going to bring out the yellow flag. Looks like Willie Evernham and the 24 of Ashley there involved. As you can see here, the 24 goes on the outside. The 19 just gets loose. The 24 actually gets up into the wall. That looked like just 2 separate incidences that made them come together, both making separate mistakes. Oh, and that is disaster for the 96 as he slams into the back of the 19. What is the strategy going to be here? We have Nick Nickerson in the 2 staying out, but look here, we've got the 18 of Handwerk and the 64, our 3rd place driver, coming down pit road here. Our race leader is staying out, so a little bit of a different strategy call here, as we only have about 23 laps to go once we take the green flag. I believe they can make it 23 laps on fuel, definitely. I feel like the number 2 feels like they can make it on fuel, and they also feel like track position is probably more important here than taking fresh tires. So we'll see how that call works out for him. Looks like they're going to have he's going to have about 3 cars in between him and the 18 of Carl Handwerk, who's going to come back out in 5th place. And just looking at the pit time, Carl took 4 tires. Looks like everyone took 4 tires that came down pit road that time. So it doesn't look like we have any 2-tire strategy calls here. And as loose as we've seen these guys get out of turn 2, I feel like that is probably the right call. Actually, Christopher Hamilton came in the pits behind the 18, but it does look like he took 2 tires, so he's going to go up into 2nd position here, assuming the 15 comes down pit road. Looks like the 15 of Metler last pitted on lap 60, and our leader pitted on lap 58. So we could see the 15 stay out here. Going to be a good call for the 15 if they do stay out. Looks like they are making up quite a few positions there, and their tires are not that old compared to the ones behind them. He may be able to hang on. Definitely a top 10. Top 5 is not out of the possibility here for this number 15 Brandon Metler. And it looks like the pace lights are going to go off the pace car, so we'll get going green this time around. The number 2 of Nick Nickerson going to lead us to the restart. 15 of Brandon Metler here in 2nd. Christopher Hamilton moving up into 3rd there with that 2-tire strategy call. Carl Handwerk falling back to 4th. And Kevin Foster there in the number 8 is in the 5th position. Just looking at our biggest mover of the evening so far, it's the 77 here of Paul Butler, up 13 positions since the start of the race this evening. So great run by the 77 there. But the story's going to be up front here with the number 2 of Nickerson going to lead us to the restart. Can the 15 hang on there with old tires, as he has 2 very fast drivers right behind him, the 64 of Hamilton and the 18 of Handwerk. We'll see here as the number 2 takes off there, comes to the green flag. And they look pretty spread out here going down into turns 1 and 2. Right on board the 64 of Hamilton here as he chases down that 2nd place. The number 15 of Metler. You can see he is currently under pressure from the 18 of Handwerk, as the 64 is stuck behind that car there, the 15 on older tires. And we'll see how aggressive he wants to be here for this 2nd place. Right on board the 18 here, Carl Handwerk, he's going to look to the inside of the 64 here as they go down into turns 3 and 4. And the 64 are going to fight back there. Great driving by these two as they did not get into each other, but the 15 is going to get into the wall there by himself down the front stretch. We'll see if the 18 here can come back at the 64, as we're going to take 20 to go this time around. They're running very different lines there in turns 3 and 4. The 18 running up against the wall, the 64 choosing to diamond the turn. But I tell you who looks fast right here. It's this number 8 of Kevin Foster, as he is now up to the back bumper of the 18 of Carl Handwerk. Drivers do have to be careful not to push it too hard there, as we saw the 18 of Handwerk get into the wall there on the exit of turn 2. And that is one of those things that will happen if you abuse that right front early on. And you can see he's into the wall there in turns 3 and 4 as well. Can't get off of it. does finally get off there. He's going to lose a position to the maybe the 46. No, he's going to hang on to it. But in these Arca cars, you can abuse that right front. You can overheat it. And once you do that, you are in for one heck of a ride. You will not be able to get that car to turn, as you've just seen that happen there to the 18. Up front here, we've got Nickerson in the number 2. Currently about 0.7 of a second ahead of our second place, the number 64 of Christopher Hamilton. He is starting to chip away at that gap, though. About 1/10 each lap there in the last 2 laps. We'll see what he can do here as we're going to come down to 17 to go here at the line. I can tell you the number 2 hasn't really had any pressure on him all night long, but he may have it now because Nickerson hit it on lap 58. The 64 here took 2 tires on lap 74, so that is a big difference there in tire age. As you can see, that gap is coming down, shrinking as they head into the turn here. 0.2 now, and it looks like the 64 is going to try to make a move this time around. You see, he's going to look to the inside there. The number 2 just grazing the wall down the front straight there, but gonna live to lead another lap here as the 64 closes in on the back. See what he can do on the exit of 2 and down the back straight. You can see the 2 just not able to get onto the throttle as early as the 64. That is the tire difference. And the 64 of Hamilton there gonna be our new race leader as they come to the line. Take 15 to go this time around. Looks like the 8 of Foster now coming up to the back of the 2, and he's going to be the next one here. The 8 looks like he took 4 tires, so we could potentially see him up there battling for the lead. Not able to make a move there on the back straight. We'll see what he can do here out of turn 4. Oh, it looks like we hit our time limit actually. Just now realized, yes, we did. Race is going to end short there. That was actually a time limit set on the race here, and with 5 cautions, we did hit that time limit. So the number 64 of Christopher Hamilton there going to take home the victory with that pit strategy. Very interesting here. We'll just wait for the official results to come up here because what you see on the timing screen there is not accurate. So just a moment, we'll get the official results up, but turn of events there as we hit the time limit. Didn't get to finish all 100 laps here this evening. All right, so we will bring up the official results here. Christopher Hamilton going to take home the victory this evening. Kevin Foster did get 2nd place there. And Nick Nickerson going to bring it home in 3rd. Carl Handwerk in 4th. Adam Jones in 5th. Mark Thomas in 6th. Eric Andrews in 7th. Matt Crockett in 8th. Jimmy Covert 9th. John Nobinger in 10th. Willie Evernham in 11th. Dave Lohr 12th. Brandon Metler 13th. Dylan Ashley in 14th. Patrick Shelton 15th, Derek Sherman 16th, Jeremy Line Watkins 17th, Paul Butler in 18th, Anthony Kieswater there in 19th, Dane Simpson 20th, Mason Smith 21st, John Crane 22nd, Brock Veras 23rd, and Joshua Billiter there in 24th. All right, now we'll see some good donuts here out of our 2nd place, number 8 here, Kevin Foster, as we wait for the drivers. Give them just a moment to make their way up to the broadcast booth here, and we'll get an interview with the top 3. And just checking to see if our third place driver is going to be able to make it into the booth here. Don't see them. So we'll try to get a word here with our second place driver here this evening. That's going to be Kevin Foster. Hey, Kevin, it's Kevin up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Hey, man, heck of a run there toward the end there to take away that second place position away from the very fast Nick Nickerson. Gotta ask you, man. First of all, we saw you take 4 tires there at the end. It looked like the cars in front of you took 2. Gotta ask you, did you think your strategy was going to pay off there?
Did I think it was going to pay off? No, but things happen. People got sideways, lost a couple positions, and yeah, the 4 tires prevailed in that little short run. Wish we could have finished the whole 100 laps, but it is what it is. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'll take P2 tonight.
Yeah, we that was a surprise to us all. I knew there was a time limit. I just did not know we were getting that close to it. I think we had about 15 to go there, but unfortunate. But it was a good race here this evening. Hey, man, while you're here, I gotta ask: is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Uh, yes, want to shout out to all the admins and Carl here in the Core Racing League. Hell of a series. So glad to be a part of it. I want to thank my official, unofficial teammate, Mr. Nick Nickerson. It was probably his race. Had we stayed green, he would have just probably ran off with it. Unfortunate circumstances happened there with the shortened race, but we'll take it. Good points day, and we'll move on. And thank you guys for Soak Tires for broadcasting us, and that way all of our fans out there can watch and enjoy the race.
Absolutely. Our pleasure. I'm just pulling up the schedule here. Looks like next week we're taking the Silver Crowns around Las Vegas. How do you feel about that car track combo?
Oh man, that's going to be a blast. Very, very, very touchy little car. Big high bank, mile and a half. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting, and hope everyone comes out and watches because those little cars at 175, 180 miles an hour diving off into turn one. It's gonna be fun and gonna be a blast to watch.
Absolutely. We'll be there for that one. It's been years since I've driven a Silver Crown car, but from what I remember, they drive on rails very fast at a mile and a half track, so that's gonna be a fun event.
Yeah,
Well,
it's gonna be
again,
it's gonna be awesome.
yep, congratulations there on that second place finish here, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week as well.
Sounds great. Thank you guys for coming on board. And second's not what I wanted. It belonged to Nick, but you know, we'll chalk this up and move on. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. All right, that'll do it for our second place driver this evening. That was Kevin Foster. So now we'll try check one more time to see if our third place finisher found his way up into the booth here. And it is possible that he just has a nickname in Discord here, and I may be missing him. I do apologize if that's the case, but I do not see him. So we'll get a word here with our race winner tonight. We've got Chris Hamilton. Hey, it's Kevin up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, first of all, heck of a run. Congratulations on that victory this evening. Pit strategy played out for you there in the end. It looks like you taking, actually going back to that, did you take 2 tires that last stop?
I did take 2 tires, yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it. In these cars, 2 tires, you just never know how that car is going to drive. How loose was it?
Depending on how hard you threw it into the corner. If you pitched it in really hard, then the car was gonna be really upset. If you kind of took your time and eased into it, then the car would be actually a little bit more willing to do what you wanted it to.
Gotcha, gotcha. But hey, man, that strategy played out. Taking 2 edged you the victory here tonight. Gotta ask. The time limit was a surprise to us. Did you guys realize the time was winding down there?
Absolutely. I was paying attention to the lap count. I saw 15 to go. I knew Nick had older tires. Next thing I knew, the white flag was out, and I was just as confused as everybody else. It's
Well,
unfortunate circumstances, but hey, that's another thing that we have to keep an eye on here. But huge shout out to everyone involved and Kind of wish it played the whole way out because I'm pretty sure Carl had something with 4 fresh tires instead of my 2, but we'll take it.
Yeah, we were paying attention to that as well because he did take 4, but he unfortunately he abused his tires very early on in that last stint there, and we saw him getting up into the wall. So he started falling back. But man, you did a heck of a job here, playing the strategy right, taking home the victory. It was a challenging race. It looked like for almost everyone here, trying to keep the right side of that car looking good is a challenge at Darlington, but you brought home the victory. Got to ask while you're here, is there anyone else you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to Carl for putting this league on. Shout out to Ryan McCauley. He does my paints every week, and he does a fantastic job on them. And thank you for broadcasting this.
Absolutely. Looks like next week we head to pull it up again. Yes, we head to Las Vegas in the Silver Crown cars. How do you feel about that?
It's gonna be Daytona on steroids, for lack of a better term. It'll be
Any
interesting, that's
uh
for sure.
any strategy you have going into that race?
Avoid calamity.
So pretty much like every other super speedway in an asphalt car.
Absolutely, that's the
Uh,
plan.
all right. Well, hope it works out for you, and I hope we'll be talking to you again next week.
All right, man. You take care.
All right, absolutely. All right, that'll do it for our race winner here this evening. That was Christopher Hamilton with the upset there over third place, Nick Nickerson, who led most of the race there that evening. But it was an eventful race coming down to the time limit, not able to finish out the last handful of laps. But nonetheless, we had a great result here this evening in the Core Premier Series. That'll do it for round 3 Arca cars at Darlington. And next week, we are going to head to Vegas in the Silver Crown cars. And then after that is one that I am really looking forward to. That is the Pro 2 Light Stadium trucks at the Bristol Dirt Oval track. Those things are a blast to drive around that track. So we should see a lot of bumping and banging. We're going to have 2 very interesting races back to back here. I'm looking forward to it. But thank you all for tuning in here on Soak Tires Broadcasting, and thank all of the sponsors here that put on the show. We've got Raise Energy, Wooden Nickels Woodworking, and Joka Graphics there putting on the show here in this awesome Core Premier Series. Thank you all again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.